Have you ever found yourself sharing a little too much with someone, only to feel a pang of regret or worry later? Perhaps it was a casual comment about your finances, a fleeting mention of a health concern, or even an old family story. And suddenly, you felt a knot in your stomach, wishing you could take the words back. It's a painful reality, isn't it? That sometimes, even the people closest to us, those we love and trust, can unwittingly cause us worry or complicate our lives when we open up completely. It's not about being dishonest or secretive. It's about wisely protecting your peace of mind and autonomy as you navigate this wonderful stage of life. Understanding what information to keep private becomes increasingly important, allowing you to live with less stress and more genuine connection. In this video, we're going to explore 5 crucial pieces of information that, for your own well-being and future happiness, you should never fully share with friends or even members of your family. Watch to the end for something that will truly surprise you. Let's begin with the first vital area that many of us, particularly as we get older, might inadvertently expose, leading to unnecessary complications and potential heartache: your exact financial details and, perhaps even more importantly, your specific inheritance plans. Now, this might sound counterintuitive, especially if you believe in transparency within the family. But hear me out. When you lay bare the precise numbers in your bank accounts, the value of your investments, or the exact specifics of how your assets will be divided after you're gone, you open a Pandora's box. Firstly, it can immediately shift dynamics. Suddenly, some individuals might start viewing you not as the loving parent, grandparent, or friend you are, but as a financial resource, or worse, a walking ATM. Requests for loans, subtle hints about financial needs, or even outright demands can become more frequent and harder to deflect. You might find yourself feeling pressured, guilty, or resentful, undermining the very relationships you cherish. The focus shifts from connection and shared experiences to monetary expectations, which can be incredibly disheartening. Beyond current assets, sharing detailed inheritance plans can unleash a torrent of unintended consequences. Imagine telling your children or grandchildren precisely who gets what, and in what proportion, while you are still very much alive and well. What often happens is that perceived unfairness, even if unintentional, can ignite deep-seated sibling rivalries or family feuds that have been dormant for decades. One child might feel slighted compared to another, leading to resentment that festers and divides the family long before any inheritance is actually distributed. Your good intentions of clarity and fairness can ironically lead to a bitter legacy of conflict. I've seen countless situations where families become irreparably fractured, not over large sums of money, but over the principle of who was favored or disadvantaged in their parents' eyes, all because the details were revealed too soon. People often react to news of inheritance plans with their own life circumstances and perceived needs, which can be very different from your own vision for them. They might start planning their lives around this future inheritance, making financial decisions based on money they don't yet have, leading to potential recklessness or disappointment. It's crucial to understand that your financial journey and decisions are deeply personal, and they should remain yours to manage and reveal on your own terms. And at the appropriate time, you want your family to love and value you for who you are, not for what you possess or what you might leave behind. Your financial legacy should be handled with discretion, ensuring your peace of mind now and the preservation of family harmony for the future. You can have your will meticulously drawn up, work with trusted legal and financial advisors, and feel secure in your plans, without broadcasting every detail to the world, or even your closest relatives. When someone probes, a gentle, vague response like, "My affairs are well in order, thank you for asking," or "I've made my plans with my advisors, and everything is settled," is perfectly acceptable and often the wisest path. Maintain a dignified privacy around your wealth, not out of secrecy, but out of a desire to protect your relationships and your peace. Now that we've discussed the importance of keeping your financial details private, let's move on to another very personal area that's best kept close to your chest. Our second secret, one that's often shared with the best of intentions but can lead to a surprising loss of independence and unwarranted concern, is detailing your specific health vulnerabilities. Think about it when you openly share every ache, pain, blood pressure reading, or minor diagnosis with everyone you know. You can inadvertently change how others perceive you. Suddenly, you might transition in their minds from an active, vibrant individual to someone who is frail, constantly unwell, or perpetually needing assistance. This shift in perception isn't always malicious. Often, it comes from a place of genuine care and concern. However, that concern can manifest as overprotective behavior, unsolicited advice that might contradict your doctor's recommendations, or even a subtle erosion of your perceived competence and independence. You might find family members or friends starting to restrict your activities, questioning your decisions, or treating you like an invalid, all because they're trying to protect your perceived fragility. They might start suggesting you shouldn't drive, or lift things, or even travel, based on a minor issue you shared. This well-meaning but often suffocating concern can chip away at your autonomy and your desire to live a full, active life on your own terms. Beyond the well-meaning interference, there's also the risk of attracting pity, which can be incredibly disempowering. While empathy is wonderful, pity can make you feel diminished and defined by your ailments rather than your vibrant spirit. You want to be seen as the person who is still living, learning, and contributing, not just as someone managing a list of medical conditions. Moreover, openly discussing every health detail can make you a target for unscrupulous individuals who might prey on perceived weakness or offer dubious health remedies. It can also lead to a constant stream of medical advice from laypersons, which can be confusing and overwhelming. Think about how many times someone has told you about a miracle cure or a must-try diet that worked for their cousin's neighbor, after you just mentioned a bit of arthritis. While they mean well, it adds unnecessary noise to your life and can make you doubt your own health management strategies. It's important to remember that your health journey is deeply personal, best discussed with your trusted medical professionals who have the knowledge and context to offer real help. Of course, there are situations where you need to share information with a primary caregiver or a very select few, but the key is discernment. You can be honest about how you're feeling generally without launching into a detailed medical report. A simple, "I'm doing well, thank you," or just the usual aches and pains of getting older, but nothing serious, is often more than enough. Focus your conversations on your interests, your activities, and your joy, not solely on your ailments. Maintain your agency and your dignity. Your energy is best spent on living your life fully, not constantly explaining or defending your health status to others. By exercising discretion here, you safeguard your independence and ensure that you are seen for the whole, capable person you are, not just a sum of your medical conditions. This wisdom extends far beyond physical health, influencing how we navigate our emotional landscapes too. Now that we've delved into protecting your personal health narrative, let's explore how keeping certain past emotional burdens private can equally preserve your peace and relationships. Continuing our discussion on safeguarding your personal peace, our third secret is about the wisdom of not airing your past regrets or deep-seated family grievances. We all carry experiences from our lives, some of which may be heavy with regret, unresolved conflict, or old hurts. It's natural to want to unburden ourselves, to seek understanding or even validation for historical injustices. However, when you frequently or intensely revisit these old wounds in conversations with friends or even family members who weren't directly involved or who have moved past them, you risk opening a can of worms that is better left closed. The past, especially a painful one, can easily overshadow the present, constantly rehashing old mistakes you made or injustices you endured can make you appear stuck, unable to move forward, or even bitter. While self-reflection and learning from the past are crucial, dwelling on it externally can define you by your regrets rather than your resilience. People might start seeing you as the person who always talks about that divorce, or still blames so-and-so for that old business failure. This doesn't help you, and it can certainly make others uncomfortable, as they may not know how to respond. Or they may simply tire of hearing the same story of woe. Even more precarious is the sharing of deep-seated family grievances that stem from long ago. Perhaps there was a falling out with a sibling decades ago, or a perceived slight from an in-law that still stings. Bringing these old battles back into the present conversation, especially with younger generations or those not involved, can do immense damage. You risk dragging innocent parties into ancient feuds, planting seeds of discord where there were none, or forcing others to take sides in conflicts they have no stake in. What was a personal hurt for you can become a source of division for the entire family. It can also put family members in an incredibly awkward position, forcing them to choose between their loyalty to you and their relationship with others involved. Sometimes, wounds are best healed in private, or with the help of a trusted professional like a therapist, who can offer tools for processing and moving forward without involving others in the emotional fallout. The goal here isn't to deny your feelings or to pretend the past didn't happen. It's about discerning what needs to be openly discussed for resolution versus what is best processed internally or in a confidential, therapeutic setting. Focus on the forgiveness both for others and for yourself that allows you to truly move forward. Your energy and conversations should be centered on building new, positive memories, enjoying the present, and looking forward to the future, rather than endlessly reliving past pains. By exercising this discretion, you protect not only your own peace, but also the harmony of your relationships, allowing them to flourish unburdened by history's weight. And just as we gain peace by guarding our past, we also find strength in how we manage our future anxieties. Let's now explore our fourth crucial secret, your deepest fears or anxieties about the future or the aging process itself. Our fourth secret, one that truly speaks to the heart of vulnerability and how we present ourselves to the world, is the tendency to share your deepest fears or anxieties about the future or the aging process itself. It's perfectly natural, even healthy, to have concerns about what lies ahead. We all grapple with thoughts about declining health, potential loneliness, loss of independence, or simply the unknown. However, openly broadcasting these profound anxieties to everyone you encounter can have unintended consequences that undermine your confidence and how others perceive you. When you continually express worries about becoming a burden, or your fear of falling, or anxieties about memory loss, you inadvertently project an image of vulnerability and fragility, while friends and family might initially offer comfort. Over time, this constant expression of fear can lead to them seeing you primarily through the lens of your anxieties. They might start making decisions for you, even well-meaning ones, that chip away at your autonomy, assuming you're incapable or too fearful to manage certain aspects of your life. They might become overly protective, which, while born of love, can feel stifling and disempowering. You might find yourself being treated as though you are already experiencing the very things you fear, rather than being seen for your current capabilities and strengths. Moreover, sharing these fears too broadly can attract unwanted pity, which, as we discussed earlier, can be incredibly diminishing. Pity doesn't empower. It can inadvertently reinforce a sense of helplessness. It also opens the door for others to project their own fears of aging onto you, creating a cycle of negativity that doesn't serve anyone. Imagine expressing a fear of being lonely, and suddenly well-meaning people are calling constantly, checking in, and making you feel like a charity case rather than a cherished individual with a vibrant inner life. Or, if you voice anxieties about declining memory, Some might subtly question your decisions or dismiss your opinions, simply because they've latched onto that specific concern. The key here isn't to deny your fears or to bottle them up entirely. It's about discerning who to share them with and how. Your deepest anxieties are best processed internally, perhaps through journaling, or discussed with a trusted professional like a therapist, who can provide strategies for coping and planning. If you choose to share with a very close confidant, do so with an intention of seeking genuine support or finding solutions, rather than just venting fear. When you discuss the future, frame your concerns as challenges you are actively planning to address, rather than insurmountable obstacles. Focus on what you can control, maintaining your health, nurturing your social connections, staying mentally active, and planning for your future needs with a sense of agency. Instead of saying, "I'm so worried about falling," you might say, "I'm focusing on my balance exercises and making my home safer to prevent falls." This shifts the narrative from passive fear to active empowerment. By doing so, you maintain your dignity, reinforce your competence, and inspire confidence in those around you. You are seen as someone actively managing their life and embracing the journey of aging with strength and foresight, rather than being defined by potential worries. This careful approach to our personal anxieties parallels the discretion we should also apply to our observations about others, leading us to our fifth and final secret. Finally, we arrive at our fifth and perhaps most challenging secret to keep, one that requires immense self-control and wisdom: your true, unvarnished opinions on other family members' lives or choices, especially when these opinions are critical or judgmental. It's incredibly tempting, isn't it? As we accumulate life experience, we often feel we've seen it all, and we genuinely believe we know what's best for our loved ones. Whether it's a child's career path you disapprove of, a grandchild's choice of partner you don't quite understand, a sibling's parenting style you disagree with, or a cousin's lifestyle you find questionable, holding back your frank opinions can feel like biting your tongue. However, expressing these unsolicited, critical judgments is almost guaranteed to cause strife, resentment, and deep damage to your relationships. Think about it when someone makes a life choice, especially one they're passionate about, or one that defines their independence. They rarely want to hear a negative, unasked-for opinion, particularly from an elder. Your words, no matter how well-intentioned or how subtly delivered, can come across as dismissive, interfering, or deeply disrespectful. What often happens is that your truth becomes a wedge, driving a rift between you and the person you care about. They might withdraw, become defensive, or even harbor resentment that can poison the relationship for years. You might find yourself excluded from future discussions or events because your loved ones fear your judgment. Moreover, if you share these critical opinions with other family members, you risk becoming a source of gossip, spreading negativity, and inadvertently positioning yourself in the middle of potential conflicts you never intended to create. You could inadvertently cause friction between siblings, or between parents and their adult children, simply by voicing your thoughts on another's choices. People rarely truly want to hear negative opinions about their life choices unless they have specifically asked for objective, non-judgmental advice. And even then, discretion is paramount. The wisdom here lies in understanding that everyone has their own journey, their own lessons to learn, and their own path to walk. Your role, as a cherished elder, is often to be a source of unconditional love, support, and a listening ear, rather than a judge or a critic. Of course, this doesn't mean you can't offer advice when asked, or express concern in a loving way if someone is genuinely in danger or making destructive choices. But the key is the approach. If you are asked for advice, offer it gently, focusing on principles or lessons you've learned, rather than direct criticism of their specific actions. You might say, "In my experience, I found that patience often yields better results," rather than, "You're being impatient and ruining everything." If you feel compelled to speak, Frame your words as questions or observations, like, have you considered how that might impact your long-term goals, instead of, that's a terrible idea. And if you aren't asked, practicing neutrality and silent support is often the most profound form of love. Focus on connecting with your family members based on shared joy, interests, and mutual respect, rather than on their life choices that don't directly affect you. By withholding harsh judgments, you preserve precious relationships, foster an atmosphere of acceptance, and position yourself as a safe harbor for your loved ones, a true source of wisdom and support, rather than a source of criticism. So, there you have it. 5 crucial pieces of information that, for your own peace of mind and the harmony of your most cherished relationships, are often best kept private. We've talked about the importance of protecting your precise financial details and inheritance plans, ensuring you're loved for who you are, not what you have. We explored why keeping your specific health vulnerabilities to yourself can safeguard your independence and prevent unwanted pity or interference. We also discussed the wisdom of not endlessly revisiting past regrets or old family grievances, allowing you and your loved ones to truly move forward. Then, we delved into how sharing your deepest fears about the future can unintentionally undermine your strength, encouraging you to manage these anxieties privately or with trusted professionals. And finally, we just talked about why keeping your critical opinions on other family members' choices to yourself is a profound act of love and respect, fostering genuine connection rather than resentment. Remember, this isn't about being secretive or building walls. It's about thoughtful discretion, understanding that not everything needs to be shared. Even with the people you hold dearest, it's about protecting your peace, your dignity, and the integrity of your relationships. Small changes in how we communicate can truly make a big difference to your health, your happiness, and the quality of your connections. Your wisdom extends beyond just living life. It's about living it artfully, with grace and discernment. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you ever experienced a situation where sharing too much led to complications? Or perhaps you have your own valuable insights on what seniors should keep private. Share your experiences and wisdom in the comments below. Your stories can help so many others in our community. If you found this video helpful and uplifting, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more helpful content designed to empower you to live your best life at every age. Thank you for spending this time with us. Live your best life at every age.